Hey friends, it's Layla here with Boo Boo's Babies and intentionalmating.com. It is 9 weeks today. The puppies have about another week with me and they go to their lovely homes. If you're one of our new parents, I want to invite you to check your email to look at the puppy health guarantee. I'm going to talk a little bit about the send off and some tips and what to expect from us when you get your puppy this week. First of all, they're going to be clean. They've been out playing in the dirt, digging holes and doing all kind of crazy rolling around. So they're going to get baths the morning of or the night before. So you'll have a nice clean puppy, as clean as we can do. And they're going to be sent off with a little package and then also this health guarantee, which some people are like, what's a health guarantee? What do you guarantee? How does that work? I'm going to talk about that and what things you can do to keep your dog healthy, especially as a little puppy in a new environment. So I guess we'll start with that. So one of the things that's really important is to take a look at your household and your yard. Make sure you look at any ornamental plants that you have that might be dangerous for the dog to chew on. The holidays are coming up and there are poinsettias, which are not healthy for animals. They're poisonous for cats and dogs. So you're just going to want to be careful about what's already in your yard that could cause an issue. If you have a garage that has rat poison or mouse traps and things like that, you're going to want to pick those things up. You'd be surprised at what these puppies can get into in very tiny little places. They've brought me all kinds of interesting things. Nothing poisonous, of course, but the other thing you're going to want to check is chemicals. Access to any chemicals in your garage or in your household. You're going to want to make sure that those are completely inaccessible by the dog. Antifreeze is something dogs like to eat and is toxic. And also just any other kinds of chemicals that you might have laying around. The other thing is that if you have your yard landscaped or you're part of an HOA that does common area landscaping, you're going to want to check to see if they're using herbicides, specifically glyphosate, Roundup, or anything like it. We have an HOA here that actually put out a notice this summer that they were going to be spraying an herbicide along the road. They said it was completely safe and it wasn't Roundup. Well, yes, it was. It was just the chemicals in Roundup not labeled. It was an off-brand Roundup, basically. And we had put spray paint out, don't spray, and chop down the weeds ourselves, but they went ahead and I happened to be outside when they were coming by and they were spraying our yard and they got to most of it before I stopped them. But I actually got sprayed because I was outside personally and was sick for the rest of the day, had a headache and everything else. So you're going to want to make sure that the dogs don't have access to any chemicals, especially those herbicides, because they are very dangerous, causes lymphoma and cancer. And you might think, oh, well, it's sprayed on the ground, it rained, it's gone. It's not gone. The half-life of that is a long time and can sometimes hang out in the soil for over a year, in fact, almost 2 years. So, and dogs are always licking their feet and everything else. So you're going to have trouble with that if they're spraying things in your yard. So what I would suggest doing is there are these signs that you can get, and I've seen them in Bend and other places where it just says chemical free, it just says no spray, and they just stick it in their front yard. And so if there's an HOA that comes by, they don't spray it in their yard. However, if you're walking around the neighborhood and your dog is going onto other grassy common areas, you're just going to want to be careful about that because you're exposing your dog to a cancer-causing agent. So be aware of that. And then in your house, you're going to want to protect anything you have that's valuable because you have a puppy. And they are going to chew on absolutely everything. If you have a nice rug, if you have anything that you care about that's really nice, I would put it away for now. I don't have anything that I'm super in love with. I kind of live a very rustic, I've had pets and everything else, so I don't have anything that's super, I would be super bummed if it happened to get destroyed, although I do keep a close eye on them, so nothing has been destroyed thus far. That said, they're going to chew on absolutely everything. So if you have a very nice rug or anything low on the ground that they're going to be able to get to, I would just go ahead and put that up for now. And then you're just going to want to keep a really close watch on them because they do find things. So protecting your valuables and then also protecting the dog from any chemicals, very important. And then beyond that, you're just going to want to have their crate. So have their little crate with their space. You're going to get a piece of their fluffy baby blankets. I have several of those that we've cut up into rectangles that should go in their crates. And so they'll each have one of those to put on their beds. A little remembrance of their mama and their litter mates should make them comfortable, but they're going to be a little uncomfortable for a few days. They're probably going to cry a lot, and they're used to being out and around. They haven't been enclosed in those crates, and you're going to need to do step-by-step crate training in order to be able to leave them in the crate closed all the way for any length of time, which they haven't been. I mean, sometimes when they're sleeping or if they're eating something, I might shut the door, but it's brief. And that takes time to build up a positive experience in the crate. You never want to close it and have them cry and freak out, because then you've just created a negative experience with the crate. So there's a bunch of videos on crate training you can watch from training professionals, but you're just going to want to have the crate and make sure that it's close to your bed. They sleep close to me in my bed, and you're going to need to know if they wake up so you can take them outside. And they do wake up in the night and need to go potty. Luckily, I only have one or maybe two to wake up and take outside. But if one of them wakes up, they all do. So some of them wake up more than others and have to pee. Hopefully yours, only gets up once or twice in the night, but they usually get up around, well, I go to bed early, but they get up around 10:30, sometimes around 2 or 3, and then 5 or 6 in the morning is when they wake up and then are ready to rock. So if you're not a morning person, you're going to have a dog alarm clock for a little while until you get on a different schedule. But if you want to keep them on their potty training schedule, I would keep them in a very small enclosed penned area and or their crate. And as soon as they're sleeping, you can just shut the door. That way, when they cry to get out, they can't get out to soil your house. They're going to wake you up because it's next to your bed, and then you can take them outside and let them relieve themselves, praise them, treat them, and then bring them back in. And they're usually going poo-poos early in the morning, all of them. And then later in the day, they're outside a lot. So hopefully you have a fenced yard and they can run around. I wouldn't leave them unattended for very long, because some of them dig. And if you have little crannies in your fence and you've got a puppy on the loose, they're still pretty small. And there are predators around that could snatch your puppy up. And I would just hate for something like that to happen. So you just don't want to leave them unattended very long at all. And just make it to where they want to be with you all the time. So as much as you can have them with you, better it's going to be. And then just as soon as they wake up, outside. After they eat, outside, or eat outside, even easier. But you're just going to want to keep up with the potty training. We've been working on that. As soon as they wake up, they all go outside together. I do have a little litter box. So if you are going to keep them in and you're not able to take them out at night, having a kitty cat litter box with the Oko Cat pine wood chips, they kind of look like grape nuts or granola. And it's awesome. It doesn't smell bad. It clumps up easy, and you can just put it in your compost pile. It's just fantastic stuff. And that would work because they are litter box trained. So just getting them used to a smaller space if you don't want to have to take them out at night or enclose them in the crate, that's going to help with the potty training. I'm hoping that the potty training goes really easy for you, because we've been working on it quite a bit here. There's still been accidents just because there's 8 of them. It's very hard to keep track of 8 dogs. Well, actually there's more than 8 because of Boo Boo, there's 9. So that's a little bit about that. And then we'll talk about the health guarantees. So I'm going to guarantee the health of this animal for any genetic defects for a very long time with conditions. So what can alter the genetics of a being, of an animal? Well, the food you eat can activate or deactivate genetic expression. So the diet is very important. So as long as they're continuing to be fed their raw, species appropriate, carnivorous, grass-fed or pastured meat diet, then that's one thing. So you have to continue to feed them that diet if you want to maintain their health and keep them out of the vet's office. If you decide to feed them anything out of a bag, box, or can that's not an air-dried meat product from Ziway Peak or the like, you have no health guarantee whatsoever. I cannot guarantee the health of any animal that is not fed the appropriate diet, period. And so that's on you to continue to feed them the same high quality, species appropriate diet to maintain their health. And that will maintain the health of their teeth, their growth, everything about them. Number 2 would be castration. So if you decide to neuter or spay your dog, well, most of you are getting males. If you decide to neuter your dog before 5 years, then you're changing the hormonal expression of the dog in its growth phases, and it can mess up their endocrine system, can mess up their bone growth, it can mess up their organ systems in ways that you would not even think is possible. If you want to learn more about that, there's a video on the website from Dr. Karen Becker with Mercola Pets that talks about that, about when, and if you have a male dog, castrating the dog does not prevent them from peeing on things. I know that for a fact because I've had male dogs and we've done that and they still mark. And we have male dogs around here that are neutered and they do the same thing. So there's really no benefit from a male dog's perspective to neutering them. And if you have a male dog, you don't really have to worry about puppies because the onus is on the female dog owner to keep a bitch in heat away from prospective suitors. Now, if you do have a male dog and there is a dog in heat, they will get out. So you do have an onus on keeping your dog contained if there is a female in heat, and that usually lasts about 2 weeks. So that's just something to know. But if you do decide to neuter your dog before the 5-year period, and also I can't guarantee their health of their development of their hips and their bones and their endocrine system. It's just going to mess with those things. So that's another stipulation. You have to keep your dog intact for this health guarantee to continue on. Number 3 would be vaccinations. So vaccines do affect genetic expression. There are chemicals in those vaccines that do alter the properties of the blood of the animal, of the immune system of the animal, of the neurology of the animal. And since these dogs are really small right now, the vaccines are not proportionate to the size of dog. They're all the same size. So you're giving a very small animal a large vaccine that goes from a Great Dane down to a Chihuahua. It doesn't matter. That said, if you are going to vaccinate your dog, you're going to need to do a detox protocol. And I would say that I would need to talk to you about continuing on with a health guarantee if you are going to vaccinate the dog, especially at an early age, because they've been known to cause seizures and other kinds of issues with the dog's systems. So keeping the dog intact, feeding them the right diet, and giving them no vaccines before 12 weeks at minimum. And then if you are going to vaccinate for rabies, that you do perform a detox protocol, which I can provide that information on how to do that and the resources of other vets that do recommend doing that. But all of the holistic vets that I follow don't vaccinate the pets. And it's because there's a huge risk with the chemicals, and they're putting in, virus that they wouldn't normally encounter because it's not a wild virus. These dogs are very robust. They also receive some supplements. I'm not going to require that you give them supplements, but if you want your dog to be super healthy, you can add in some vitamin C into their diet. And if you're buying these complete foods, there's a lot of those nutritional extras that are in there supplement wise anyways. So those 3 things, and you get a 5-year guarantee on the genetic health of the dog. If you decide to do anything different, then your dog's genes can be altered, your dog's immune system could be altered, your dog's growth could be altered, your dog's organ systems can be altered, and I can't vouch for that. So those are things that I just don't advocate, and I can't guarantee anything if you do them. However, it's your dog, so you can do whatever the heck you want. You just won't have a guarantee from me with that. So, but anybody who decides to follow a holistic path with these dogs, which is what is intended, then you have a long guarantee with their health. Now, if your dog gets injured, I can't do anything about that. It's just mainly for any like genetic disease that would be popping up, which they shouldn't have anyways. Boo Boo doesn't have, and neither does Ernie. So, I just wanted to offer that. It gives people peace of mind. And it also helps you to understand the holistic method and natural breeding and why you would avoid such things. Like there's, again, resources on the website for from vets, not from me, that advocate these things and they explain exactly why you would or wouldn't do those things. So I encourage you to educate yourself on that so you can understand. And there's some books to read also if you want to take it further. But that's that with the health guarantees. So in preparation, these puppies are going to get a few things I'll send you home with so you can get started on the right foot. I'm going to tell you all about your dog. Every dog is individually different and what their tendencies are and what their motivators are, things that they like or gravitate towards, and just funny little anecdotes about each one. And they're also, their body styles are different and so is their hair, all of them different. So we'll get into that, which will be fun. And hopefully send you off with a happy, healthy dog, start you off on the right foot with some training and especially potty training, and just enjoy the little bundles of love. They are just wonderful. They're going to need a little bit of play from you if you don't have another dog in the house because they're used to playing a lot. So just get ready for that. And I'm overjoyed to present these lovely beings to you. They are amazing and I'm going to miss them a lot. So if you have any questions, feel free to email or call and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.